Um, but what other issues do you see with workers that they need some guidance with?
Blind spots, because a lot of times when people are unhappy is because there's an opportunity they don't really see, or they have this limiting belief or this
Mhm,
assumption like I can never talk to my boss. You know, he will not listen. I won't be able to change something.
mhm.
So overcoming those blocks, also like the ideas that you have about yourself, like holding yourself tiny in terms of I deserve this, I can't do any better, I'm not valuable enough, or any kind of thoughts like this is a huge issue for a lot of workers.
So just feeling like you're not valuable enough to go to a different company, or just not feeling like you're valued at your current company is an issue, right?
Yeah, it can go to I deserve this job. I can't do any better, so why should I change?
Yeah, because a lot of this advice also could be applied in people's lives and people's relationships. And I feel
Mm.
that if because there are also people that just go from one job to another job and to another job, and those people just have issues with committing to one thing. But there are also people that go and stay actually in a job for so many years, and that could be related to the fear of letting go.
Mm. It can have a lot of reasons. Like some people, they don't care so much about their job. They're okay with having a job, and they have an amazing private life. They have amazing family, and this is what they thrive for. So they don't really care so much about the work. And people that usually spend a long time, we are also kind of in the middle, our generation.
Yeah.
And now looking at people that have been there for 20, 30 years, it's also a generation issue. We say issue, but difference. We have a lot of more opportunities, like remote work, especially after COVID, right? It accelerated so quickly. We have new digital opportunities, the technology, they all had to adjust.
And so you came into this field after COVID. Were you in this before, like prior to COVID?
Prior to COVID, I did travel already. For example, I studied in Beijing in China before COVID, and I did have the opportunity to work hybrid for a company, and yeah, that made things easier. And then during COVID, it just skyrocketed, and I really liked it. I like to work remote, so I decided to stay there.
So you were in this before COVID, but it just seems that after COVID, it at least remote work felt more like mandatory, so more forced rather than before. So I
Mm.
also assume that that brought with a lot of issues.
Yeah. So with remote work can have advantage and disadvantage. It also strongly depends on the person who's doing it. If you're an introverted person, you most likely are very happy being at home, doing your work, not caring. If you're extroverted, you may really miss the office. You may miss the connection with people. And then again, it can change because yes, you're extroverted, but you have a good social life, a good private life. So you don't really need the activity at the office. So yeah,
Did
it
it
depends on
change?
people.
Like, did remote work change much prior to COVID and after?
It got faster, it got easier, it got more understood. We have a different awareness, especially of mental health. Um, yeah, so I think there are more studies around it. Uh, what else changed? What could I change? Well, it's more accepted in society in general.
And it got more streamlined as well, because now that everyone's doing remote
Mm.
work, companies needed to adapt and just
Yeah.
like business overall. So certain companies that were not doing remote work, suddenly they're doing remote work. So working with other companies that are also working remotely, it became easier for everyone to adapt. And a lot of people figured out that you don't have to go into the office. A lot of the work could be done at home. So that also changed.
Yes,
And
exactly. So yeah, there are new challenges coming up, new opportunities. You also notice the same things. Communication is important. It doesn't matter if you're in the office or if you are working from home or from wherever else.
yeah, and that kind of also made me realize that I could have a podcast, and I don't actually have to have the people in here. Probably I don't really have the means to do that yet. I'm still trying to figure it out myself before I'm able to actually have like in prison podcast. So it's easier for me to manage this since I don't have to manage everything. And I feel like that gave a rise to companies also. Like you don't have to have all these employees in the office. We could probably just do all of our work online without actually having physical offices. And I know that
Mm.
WeWork also had a lot of issues because after a lot of people went back to the office, not a lot of people were using their facilities. And the other thing happened that all of these companies that or not companies necessarily, but like landlords that owned office buildings for where companies could have their offices were actually losing out on that because now suddenly you had a bunch of companies that didn't need to have employees in the office. So a lot of those landlords lost with not having their office spaces occupied. So now everyone is realizing that you don't have to have people in the office to actually be able to produce any type of work. So that was interesting as well. And how have you seen that?
Yes.
What are the biggest changes you've seen?
Well, a lot of more co-working places, of course. I think a lot of landlords also, like you mentioned, if they were smart, said, okay, I can't rent it to a whole company, but there are still people interested in coming to some sort of office. So more co-working places.
Yeah.
And in terms of changes, also more regulations, different regulations. Some countries are still figuring out how to regulate, especially the digital nomads, because they're not really at one place. And so now we have more digital nomad visas. Thailand just opened for a 5-6 year digital nomad visa.